In my typical study of the Samaritan Woman story, I've been asking, what is the Samaritan Woman story? In this side mission, I'm asking, what if? What if the Samaritan Woman story was removed from the Gospel of John? Here's what it would look like. Now Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard that he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John, although in fact it was not Jesus who baptized, but his disciples. So he left Judea and went back once more to Galilee. Now Jesus himself had pointed out that a prophet has no honor in his own country. When he arrived in Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him. They had seen all that he had done in Jerusalem at the Passover festival, for they also had been there. Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. "Unless you people see signs and wonders," Jesus told him, "you will never believe." The royal official said, "Sir, come down before my child dies." "Go," Jesus replied, "your son will live." Jesus is having success in Judea. He's outperforming John the Baptist in his conversion efforts. Jesus becomes aware that the Pharisees have heard he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John. So he leaves Judea, heads once more to Galilee. While he was not particularly honored there in Galilee as a prophet, he is welcomed by the Galileans, given what they saw at the Passover festival. After returning to Galilee, he again goes to Cana in Galilee, the place where he turned the water to wine. A royal official is there. His son is close to death in Capernaum, so he asks Jesus to heal him. Jesus vents about needing to perform signs, possibly relating back to the no honor statement earlier. But then he agrees. He remotely heals the royal official's son. In doing so, he performs the second miracle. In this alternate version of John chapter 4, even the royal official is under the impression that Jesus came directly from Judea to Galilee. This means the royal official didn't know he stayed in Samaria for 2 days. And that's fine. In the context of the story, he's worried about his son, and he knows the gist of Jesus' journey. But what's also interesting about this is neither did the writer of John feel the need to parenthetically clarify Jesus, in fact, stopped in Samaria. It could be because the author knows we just read the Samaritan Woman story, but it is an interesting omission. Lastly, on the what-if scenario, the only other mention of Samaritans at all in John is in John chapter 8, where Jesus is accused of being demon-possessed and a Samaritan by the Jews. Oddly enough, Jesus denies being demon-possessed, but he doesn't deny being a Samaritan. Seeing the Samaritan label being applied to Jesus may cause a reader of John to reflect on the Samaritan woman story and wonder about its connection to this verse. But if the Samaritan woman story was missing, I really don't know that verses 48 and 49 are impacted either way. One could imagine the Judeans seeing anything north of Jerusalem as Samaria, so Jesus of Galilee doesn't even dignify their ethnocentric biases. What do you think of this alternate version as we ask this question? What if the Samaritan woman story?